thank God I'm here today, and I'm hopefully able to help some other people.
And the 6 months turned into 11 years and counting.
Yes, ma'am.
God, like I said, God has other plans.
My name's David Snellen, and this is my wife, Cherie, and I'm a double lung transplant recipient. The organ donors are very, very special people, and I would encourage everybody, do it. You know, it is such a gift to a family, because it doesn't just affect one person. I mean, it not only affected me and my wife and my mother, but the children. I mean, that was one of the biggest things. So think about this, you know, it's not something difficult. It's not going to hurt you to do this, but it can sure help somebody else. I had never smoked a cigarette in my entire life. My family didn't smoke. The only time I was around cigarette smoke was really in law enforcement, when you'd have to go into somebody's home or a bar and deal with the situation. But what had most likely happened is I was misdiagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and I was put on a couple of drugs, and my doctors think that most likely, though there's no way to prove it for certain, that those drugs actually ruined my lungs.
The doctor gave him 6 months to live. Initially, the children were 3 and 6 years old when he was first diagnosed. My dad had cancer, my mom had dementia, and they both went into hospice the same week in Florida. So I'm back and forth, sometimes 4 times in 1 year. I knew that your mom could take care of you at the time while I had to take care of them. So we kind of it was a group effort.
That's the truth.
And with the little kids too.
The lungs that I have now are from a 66-year-old woman, and it is a painful surgery. There is no question about it. Look, it's an ordeal. It really is. It's no cakewalk at all. And you know, we had a person his name was Josh. And I feel like God sent him. He was also a double lung transplant recipient.
2 times.
2 times. He had cystic fibrosis as a child. And when we went into Barnes, he started talking to us, and he kind of guided us through, this is what to expect, and he was a patient because he was on his 2nd transplant. We became good friends. And he also was an attorney he was out of St. Louis. And we would talk on the phone, and sometimes we'd see each other when we went to Barnes, and we would cross paths. He was very helpful and encouraging. And it's been a sad thing that he did pass. Now in his case, I think he was 12 or 13 years on his first transplant. And then I think he was 8 years on his second when he did pass. And you never know how you're going to touch somebody's life. And he certainly touched mine. And there's so many people out there. And again, you know, the fact that he'd had a transplant, he was able to help me through mine. And he was just such a wonderful person. He really was. So, you know, that's another person, even though he's not here today, that made a big difference as a transplant recipient. And 2 people made a difference in his life because they were donors. And you know, my wife also said this, I think very true. I was given 6 months, and years later, I was still alive. So no matter what anybody says, no matter what a doctor says, only God knows our expiration date. And I think the thing of it is, we need to all make sure, and I know it's cliche to say it, but we do need to live every day as if it really matters, this day could be, and at some point will be, the last day of your life. So all the things that we get worked up about, all the things we get shook up about and irritated by, does it really, really matter? And do you want your family to remember you getting your back up over something silly? Probably not, you know. So very important to make sure that every day the people that you love know you love them, and to make sure you don't get upset over the little stuff that really doesn't matter. And again, I just can't encourage people enough, be a donor. Be a donor.
Sign up today at
DonateLifeMissouri.org.
donatelifemissouri.org.